Now we are studying chapter 2 from class 7 geography, that is inside our earth. So the earth, which is our homeland, is a dynamic planet. It is dynamic because it is constantly undergoing changes because of exogenic forces as well as endogenic forces. Actions of exogenic forces result in bearing down of, that is degradation of elevations, and filling up, that is called aggradation of depressions. So it results in bearing down and filling up. And actions of exogenic forces, they continuously elevate, that is build part of the earth's surface. So exogenic forces fail to even out relief variations on surface. So variations remain as long as opposing actions of exogenic and endogenic forces continue. So now we are studying about the interior of the earth. So how do we know about the interior of the earth? We can't go inside, right? Because it is too hot. So the sources of information, such as direct sources, are volcanic eruptions, and indirect sources are meteors, seismic waves. And crust, it is made up of several concentric layers, just like onion peel. So the uppermost layer is called crust. It is thinnest of all the layers. It is about 35 kilometers on the continental masses and only 5 kilometers on the oceanic floors. So the main mineral constituents of the continental mass are silica and alumina. It is thus called Sial. And the oceanic crust mainly consists of silica and magnesium. It is therefore called SEMA, that is silica and magnesium. And Sial density is 2.7. SEMA density is 3.0. Sial is lighter than SEMA. So the continents are said to be floating on the sea because of lesser density. And mantle. Just beneath the crust is the mantle, which extends up to 2900 kilometers. And uppermost layer of the mantle is called asthenosphere. It extends up to 400 kilometers. It is the major source of magma over which lithospheric plates, also called continental plates, move. This is called plate tectonics. And core. The innermost layer is the core with a radius of about 3500 kilometers. It is mainly made up of nickel and iron and is called Fe, that is nickel, and Fe, that is called ferrous, and that is iron. Central core has a very high temperature and pressure. So why is outer core liquid? We know that high temperature is required to make solids to liquids, but high pressure is used to compress liquid to make solids. So the pressure in the outer core is not sufficient to make it solid. That's why outer core is liquid. And crust forms only 1% of the volume of the earth, 84% consists of mantle, and 15% makes the core. And the radius of the earth is 6371 kilometers. And crust plus uppermost part of the mantle is called lithosphere. This is called lithosphere, that is crust plus uppermost part of mantle. And the earth's crust is made up of various types of rocks. What is a rock? Any natural mass of mineral matter that makes up the earth's crust. There are three major types of rocks. First one is igneous rocks. These are also called primary rocks. There are two types of igneous rocks, intrusive rocks and extrusive rocks. When the molten magma cools, it solidifies to become igneous rocks. Rocks formed in such a way on the crust are called, when formed on the crust, are called extrusive, that is external. They have very fine grained structure. For example, basalt. Deccan Plateau is made up of basalt rocks. Sometimes the molten magma cools deep inside the earth's crust. Solid rocks so formed are called intrusive rocks. They are forming inside. Since they cool down slowly, they form large grains. Granite is an example of such a rock. And what are sedimentary rocks? Igneous rocks are broken down into small particles that are transported by wind, water to form sedimentary rocks. And they are stratified, consists of many layers of strata. For example, sandstone is made from grains of sand. These rocks may also contain fossils of plants, animals and other microorganisms that once lived on them. So, sedimentary rocks consist of fossils of plants, animals and other microorganisms, and these are stratified. Metamorphic rocks. When the igneous and sedimentary rocks are subjected to heat and pressure, they change into metamorphic rocks. For example, clay changes into slate and limestone into marble. And what is a rock cycle? Rock cycle is a continuous process through which old rocks are transformed into new ones. Igneous rocks are primary rocks and other rocks form from these rocks. Igneous rocks, because of weathering, and on weathering these particles are transported and deposited somewhere. These sediments through lithification form sedimentary rocks, and when subjected to high heat and pressure, and that is because of metamorphism, they change into metamorphic rocks. So igneous rocks can be changed into sedimentary or metamorphic rocks. So the fragments derived from igneous and metamorphic rocks form into sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks and igneous rocks, when subjected to high temperature and pressure, they can turn into metamorphic rocks. So the crustal rocks, igneous, metamorphic and sedimentary, may be carried down into mantle, that is interior of the earth, through subduction process, and the same melt down and turn into molten magma. This is the source for igneous rocks. Thank you.